started with a 2010 SRT8 Plum Crazy, and that was a car that, what a great car. That was my first Challenger, and I remember when the Challengers first came out in 2008, and when, you know, oh my god, I was like, wow, that car's beautiful. I would love to have one of those cars. But at that time, you know, that was a lot of money, $40,000 for that car, you know, plus. I wanted it, I didn't have to have it. But of course, in 2010, when they brought out the Plum Crazy edition SRT8s, that was when I'm like, uh-oh, all right, now I have to have that car. I have to figure out how to get one and make it happen. And so yeah, so that was what started it all, is 2010 SRT8 Plum Crazy. But when the Hellcats came out, of course, you know, in awe of the Hellcat and what it does and what it could do, and, you know, the kind of numbers and all that stuff. But of course they didn't come out in Plum Crazy, so I was good. You know, I probably loved the Plum Crazy more than the fact that it was a Hellcat. Didn't have to have it. But then in 2016, well, late 2015 or mid 2015, rumors started coming out that they were going to bring Plum Crazy back for 2016.
That's when you're sitting there like, uh-oh.
And that's when I'm like, okay, now it's decision time, right? And of course, just the new, you know, the way they refreshed the Challenger in 2015, I just thought it was beautiful, you know. So, you know, rumors floating around and turned into fact that, okay, Plum Crazy's coming back. So I hunted down a sales guy, and this is in 2015 when Hellcats were very hard to buy. You know, dealerships had to have an allocation, and, you know, just to order the car, and, you know, people were paying crazy money and stuff like that, and I wasn't in a position to be able to do that. But found a salesman that was willing to sell me a car at MSRP, which was rare back then, you know, and had him on standby waiting to order the car, and so then we find out that the order banks would open on September 10th, and he was ready to pull the trigger for me, and we did, and ordered the car September 10th, sold my other car to Jeff and his son, and then everything just fell into place for this car to happen. November 5th, it was delivered at the dealership. Probably one of the very first Plum Crazy Hellcats to roll off the line. It was definitely one of the first ordered, and I know it was in the first batch that were delivered. So that was kind of cool. In November of 2015, I had one of the very first 2016 Hellcats on the road, and it was Plum Crazy. So the first batch of Hellcats that they made were Plum Crazies, which was cool. Well, you know, one day I was at Caffeine and Octane. This is way back in the days before it got to where it is now, obviously. But and it was me and Jeff and another fellow by the name of Troy Williams. Then the three of us are all Plum Crazy guys, and we had our Plum Crazy Challengers out together at CNO, and we're standing in the parking lot looking around at a bunch of Mopars. At that time, we were hanging with the Atlanta Mopar Club. That was really the main Mopar group in the area back then. So we standing there looking at a bunch of Mopars and thought, hey, you know what? I bet you we could fill up a whole parking lot with just Challengers. And I looked at Troy and I looked at Jeff, and like, you think we could put something together where it's just Challengers? I mean, nothing against Chargers and all the other Mopar brothers and sisters, but just something about Challengers that we love, obviously. So the idea was, hey, let's put something together where we fill up a parking lot with just Challengers, and that was how the dream began. And then we started putting our heads together and coming up with some ideas, trying to be creative and come up with some cool events and things that people would enjoy, and we did. and you can see where we are now. We've come a long way. So yeah, that was how PSC started, and every time we would do something, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and bam, yep, in 3 years. I mean, really, and I would go as far to say, hey, you know, we might be the largest group of Challenger owners in the country, in the world, maybe. I mean, I don't know if it's crazy to say world, but you know, I don't think there's a larger Challenger group than us. Challenger family, I guess we'll say family, right? People are looking at us, and that's, I think that's the really cool part of it, is that there's people watching us now and looking up to us, and you know, we were the ones looking up to all the other big groups and trying to do something special, and now look at us. You know, I think we're the trendsetters in this. My word, as you noticed, badassery.
Yep.
And we definitely are the definition of badassery when it comes to putting a lot of colors and a lot of cars together. And you know, we want you to come out even if you're in another car. So no rules. I think that was the whole thing about this group, is, you know, we're not setting up a club with all these rules that, you know, we're just a group of Challenger owners that like to get together and do cool stuff, and just have respect for each other, and